Hey everybody, it's Scott from the Fire Note. And today in the Prog Corner, we're going to be talking about Karfagen, that great Ukrainian band led by Antony Kalugin. Regular readers of the Fire Note are no doubt well aware of him. He seems to make my top 25 every year, either solo or as Karfagen. He also records as Sunchild with a different group of musicians, and he's also got another project called Hogwash, which is yet another project, a duo with Will Mackey, Welsh singer. In 2010, Karfagen releases their third album, The Solitary Sandpiper Journey. And from that moment on, Karfagen has been pretty unstoppable. 2011 saw The Lost Symphony. 2014, The Magician's Theater. I'm going to show these album covers because the artwork is just stellar on this stuff. 2015, he released Seven. 2016, Spectra. In 2017, Messages from Afar. In 2019, Birds of Passage. In 2020, it was The Principles and Theories of Spectra, and that leads us to the new album, the 13th Karfagen album, The Land of Green and Gold. And this might be the best thing he's ever done. It's solid. Like all of his work, it's highly indebted to Pink Floyd, indebted to Camel. Some people have said that Karfagen's music reminds them of instrumental Flower Kings. If the Flower Kings had no vocals, maybe they'd sound a little like this. The music is breezy. His music is fresh. It's open. It's optimistic. It's very bright. I think almost every song he's ever written has been in a major key. So there's some Yesian kind of feelings at times. But the discography is solid, and this new album is the best thing he's done, in my opinion. What makes it different? Well, just scanning the song titles, there's a song called The Land of Jazz on there. So this gives you just a little hint at the direction we're going here. Okay, there's a more emphasis on jazz, chord progressions, and even jazz instrumentation. The flute, which is so prominent in Karfagen's music, has kind of come down a little bit, and we still get it, but we get a lot of alto and tenor sax in its place in spots. We even get some accordion throughout this album, which is actually way cool because, I mean, who uses an accordion besides El Fedelissimo Bracco Bronco? I mean, that's like that Italian sea shanty prog. But aside from that, I don't know who does. But this album starts out great. It starts with a nice little instrumental with the nylon string classical guitar, and it goes right into the first major song, which is The Land of Green Part 1. At 11 minutes, this thing keeps your interest right away, and unlike a lot of Karfagen albums, this one is actually addressing my major concern, which is themes come and go. You could have an 11-minute song, you could have a 20-minute song, and he's got a theme here at the beginning, and he never reprises it. It just drives me bonkers. It's so hard to keep, my place in his music sometimes. He's addressed that here. Some of these themes actually repeat and return, so they get in your head. This is the stickiest album he's ever done. These themes are memorable, and I actually find myself humming along at times, which is kind of a bizarre thing for a Karfagen record. But that goes right into Land of Green Part 2, which is a little jazzier. It's got that lounge kind of feel. The accordion comes in. You've got a double bass, some real jazzy, like Lee Ritenour kind of guitar work going on. Alexander Pavlov, very fine guitar player. He and Max Velechko are the two guitar players on this record, and they're both terrific. After the part 2 comes a short little song called Solus Festum. It's only like 2 minutes long, but it's amazing. It's got this electric piano, kind of like a Supertramp kind of thing starting out, and then the synths kick up, and then that accordion comes back in. It's fun. I really enjoy it. Land of Green Part 3 follows that, and it's kind of funky. It's danceable. It's got a 4 on the floor kind of beat. The saxophones are going, and it's like, is this a Karfagen record? What is going on here? It's a lot of fun, and it's completely unexpected. Next up is a song called Pastoral. Excuse me. Which, as the name might imply, is just a short little classical guitar piece. It's really quite beautiful, which leads you right into the Garden of Hope Part 1, which is where the first actual vocals come in. Anthony Kalugin is a good singer. He's got a little accent, little Russian, Ukrainian accent going on, but I actually like his voice. It's peaceful. He's actually singing on pitch, so there's no problems there. I enjoy his singing quite a bit. The song kind of has a Steely Dan kind of feel, maybe Return to Forever. The chord progressions are definitely in that realm, the fusion-y side of things. And again, Garden of Hope is broken up into part 1 and 2. But you've got the Land of Gold in between the 2 parts. And this is the longest song on the album. It starts out with piano arpeggiating real prettily, and then the synths come in and they're all icy and cold. It's kind of making me think of Pink Floyd in some spots. Camel, obviously, is always where we're going with that. The flute comes in, which you're kind of missing on the... it's a Karfagen record. You expect a lot of flute. But Land of Gold is probably the best song on this album. It's got everything you want from Karfagen. It's smooth, it's beautiful, it's got great chord progressions, the arrangement's really interesting, and again, it's all in major key, it's all light and bright. Some people call this Prog light or saccharine prog. I think that's a little rough on Anthony Kalugin and his compatriots. They're doing what they do. They're doing what they want to do. The album comes back with the Garden of Hope Part 2, where there's actually some more vocals, and then it ends with the Land of Jazz, which is this free-form improv kind of thing. Kalugin actually employs a vocoder, so he's messing up with some vocals, and he's throwing some different effects in there. It's a really cool way to end an album, in that it's so unexpected. Kalugin, I don't think about as having that kind of a hardcore fusion influence. I always think about Pink Floyd and the Flower Kings, like an instrumental Flower Kings. But this record is showing some different colors. It's showing a whole wide array of sounds. The palette is actually really interesting. I've been a fan of this guy for quite a while now. All his records are enjoyable. My complaints have always been maybe sameness and maybe just a little too mellow, or maybe just not quite as memorable. Let me tell you, I ain't gonna hear none of that about this album. This album is really good. It's really strong. It's the best thing he's ever done, and I'm gonna give it 4.5 headphones. Karfagen, the Land of Green and Gold. Anyway, that's my review of the new Karfagen, and just a brief overview of him as an artist. I am Scott from the Fire Note, and hopefully you can join me here in the Prog Corner again soon. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.